Hello everybody, welcome to SoGoodReviews.com, the YouTube edition, and we take a look at Ronnie Yu's Blessed His House from 1988, and this was to become his third venture into horror. His movie The Trail featured some fine atmosphere. The Occupant was more of your standard Hong Kong horror farce, starring Giant Fat, and arguably Blessed His House is a mixture of those two movies. But the fear of letting audiences be more creeped out than feeling comfortable as the light stuff plays out, that isn't very evident in this film, and it survives thanks to this unique stance. It's one of the few pure Hong Kong horror films. There's certainly in the opening reels the recognizable non-distinct cinema on display, as cheery music and loud banter sets up the cramped apartment location Bill Tung's family lives in. There's points about housing problems, about sticking together as family, and views on how Feng Shui affects you, but it doesn't really count as a theme as such. They're just there to set us up. Comedy is also accentuated by music. Surreal moments of comedy are no taboo here, especially the restaurant scene where the family celebrates the promotion and all of a sudden violin players rush in. But all of this perhaps was Ronnie Yu ticking off the checklist the production company D&B bestowed upon him. But thankfully, Blessed His House doesn't dabble in contrasting moods as we move on. Obvious movies such as the Amityville Horror, Poltergeist, and The Shining springs to mind as inspirations for the film, and that's okay, as is the short 80 minutes, because Ronnie Yu doesn't exactly need to invent new tools to scare an audience, and it's not shot-by-shot remake of those films, by the way, at least I don't think so. We also like the fact that he eventually settles on the spooks being attempts at being scary and not just watered down ones that would never be able to creep us out. You know, Hong Kong horror movies were never pure Hong Kong movies, or rarely were. And one of his best decisions in the film is that he never lingers on any ghastly sights until the ending, basically. A brief flash plays better with our minds, and Ronnie Yu knows there's building blocks in that technique to be used as setup all the way to finale fruition. And the longer we get into the film, characters walk alone in dark places, and there's sound design of babies crying that really ranks as eerily effective as well. And it's building towards a terror ride that only is familiar because we've seen the flicks Yu clearly echoes, but Yu's techniques still matters. Heck, he even manages to make the finale where all manifests itself in the open totally appropriate, and it could have been the point where Hong Kong cinema had distinguished itself as a fine builder, but not as a builder of solid construction, rather a laughably solid construction. Blessed His House has construction skills and becomes a rare example of local filmmakers daring to, being able to, being allowed to treat horror like some of us expects it to be. Haunted house tactics sans hopping vampires basically is the uniqueness of Blessed His House, coupled with a director stepping closer and closer to being a true visionary.